even speculated suicide bombers in a way. You know, Edward Snowden was a suicide because he can't go home. He left everything, fat paycheck for doing very little, living in paradise, girlfriend, everything. Can't go home now. You know, he's worried that they're going to go after his family. I mean, by doing this, he was the eclipse, wasn't he? Anyway, this is program 864. We're going to cover the last week in June and see what comes up for you. We've got a big old grand trine going, we call it, and Neptune and Saturn, and the sun is setting up on it, and we're about to have another full moon, and this one Sunday is at 2 Capricorn, and it sextiles Neptune. All right, I like Neptune, and we're over that full moon square Neptune. Well, you're not quite over it yet. If we run the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern, what you'll find is that Friday morning, June 21st, here's the square to Neptune, and you may be confronted with more flooding and more liquids and more secrets, yeah. And it's the last chance Neptune has at you. So if you're spilling things, care is needed Friday morning. Friday afternoon, there's a nice trine to Uranus. And the internet comes out and clears up all the confusion and the deception, huh? And it ticks some people off, because here's an opposition to Mars. You know, these are all young men doing this stuff. Edward's 29. Saturn went around his chart once. Anyway, the moon's in Sagittarius. It ends here Friday night with some anger and impatience. Not a good time to be out. Saturday pretty much carries through that, and then Saturday evening, here's the opposition to Jupiter. Too much laughing and too many horses out there. Too many people overdoing it. We don't like this. Eek, it's the lawyers again, huh? Saturday evening. Sunday, the moon's in Capricorn. You're on the next full moon at 2 Capricorn. And this is a pretty good one because it trines Neptune and trines Saturn. And maybe they'll get to legalizing pot finally. If they get it off Schedule 1, get the feds out of the matter. Let the states do what they want. Anyway, a lot of people wish for that sort of thing. And I don't know whether you'll get your wish. You'll find out a lot on breakfast time here Sunday. But by the time you get to the afternoon and the evening, the moon goes by Pluto, squares the planet Uranus, and we got sudden sharp, eek, a bug again. Yeah, it's still happening. Sunday night, the moon goes by a nice sextile to the nodes, and so there's some nurturing. Monday, the 24th, the moon's still in Capricorn. It's not a very easy Monday. It starts with difficulties around noontime, miscommunication, oppositions to Mercury, and by the way, Mercury is going to go retrograde. It's slowing down and it's stopping in the sky. That's why he's so big here at 23 Cancer. So that happens on Wednesday. So on Monday, Mercury's really strong, and we got real problems with the wind and communication, transportation. The sweets aren't there. There's no rest. Nothing but Mercury troubles. And so leg out. It is your last chance to go and do some things, some short trips and communications that you might want to not do twice, because over here, Mercury goes retrograde. Late Monday night, the moon goes into Aquarius. Things change, but there is a nasty square to Saturn. None of us are liking the judge, the rules, the laws. Oh boy. Who is that judge that did that to Roger Christie? Why is he immune? Another privileged person, huh? The privileged people in the NSA privileged themselves right into tyranny over you, didn't they? Wow. Anyway, wisdom comes up here. There's a nice sextile to Uranus Tuesday afternoon and evening, and the internet tells the truth, and hopefully they can't control it. They can spy on it, but they can't control it. Wednesday morning, there's a nice trine to Mars, and we're out there getting the job done. Get your chores done. Everybody gets up with a sparkle in their eye. On Wednesday, the moon's in Aquarius, and we got work to do. Yes, it goes all the way through Wednesday when there's finally a nice trine to Jupiter, and there's some wisdom and natural knowingness that comes up here Wednesday night, 9-10 o'clock. Thursday, the 27th, the moon is shifted into Pisces, and it's going to go by Neptune. And it's going to sextile that new moon Thursday morning. It's a good chance for politicians to straighten out some of the fishy stuff in our society. You know, like the Schedule 1 listing of pot and all those poor people in jail. And let's get your heads straight here, politicians. Neptune is sextiling Saturn, and we're sextiling the Sun. It's time to get the job done. You could be really inspired here Thursday morning, or if it's hitting your chart bad, you could be really confused too. But hopefully you got an enlightenment of the heart going. Yes, that's what's important here. On Friday, the moon's still in Pisces. There's a nice sextile to Mercury, or a trine to Mercury. So, you know, even though he went retrograde here, and your tendency is to short trips and communications, half of them will be done twice. I walk out the door, I go back in the inside shishi. If I call somebody on the phone, I pick it up, dial a number, let it ring once, hang up quick, punch redial. I've called twice. So I'm trying to get around this Mercury retrograde. It's a good time to learn some tricks, about that guy. Saturday, the 28th, the moon is shifted into Aries. It's kind of a crazy morning. There's a square to Jupiter really early. It's almost late Friday night. Too much laughing. Anyway, the square to Jupiter, it's too much talk. There's a trine to Venus. You stay in bed late. If you can keep your mouth shut and stay in bed late, there could be some sugar here for you Saturday morning, huh? Yeah, but you're not going to get much done. There's a square to the Sun Sunday or Saturday night, and ambition eludes us. Real late Saturday night. Early Sunday morning, the moon goes by Uranus, but it squares Pluto still, and we like to have some brotherhood, but the cops are after us, the NSA, the CIA. You remember when the truth came out that the FBI and CIA was targeting Clark Kerr, the president of Berkeley, and all the old anti-war people? Yes, those agencies were used against students. Some students were killed. So we still got fishy stuff going on here. It's going to be hard. It's hard to get rid of the NSA and the CIA and the FBI as it is Guantanamo, isn't it? Yes. But it has to be done. And Sunday morning you'll have some of that reality with you. And Sunday night, here's a nice sextile to Mars. Get out and get the chores done. Get yourself all ready for Monday. That's the way it is this time in our lives. It's an interesting time, isn't it? I want to do a little more work on Sky Mirror Astrology. If you've bought the app, you will notice that it's improving a lot. Yes, the owner is working on it, and I'm working on it, and I intend to do a little more right now. Okay, so far we've set the stage with the houses, and then we put the actors on the stage, the people. Those are the planets. Now I want to start working on the plot. The plot in any good play has to do with how the actors relate to each other. Here we're going to study the angles between the planets, the aspects, the relationships between the actors. Sky Mirror Astrology. Now when you look at the app, you'll see these red and blue lines. What are they? Those are the relationship between the planets. Like here today we have the moon trining Neptune. See the blue line, the long blue line? You hear me talking about squares? Well, here's the moon squaring Uranus. So it doesn't like Uranus. It won't be easy to do electrical stuff. It likes Neptune. It's easier to do chemistry and liquids right now, see? Now, the relationship between the planets depends on the angles they make to one another. And these are all multiples of 30, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. And it's like magnets. Every time the angle changes, like here's a sextile. Oh, yes, that's nice. 60 degrees, huh? Sextiles between fire and air planets, between water and earth planets. These guys work together very nicely. Or trines, 120 degrees. Oh, boy. These characters, these actors are effortless in the way they work together. It's very nice. So here's a fire trine from Aries to Sag to Leo. See the big grand trine? Yes, right now, here's an air sign. Here's Libra to Aquarius to Gemini. Here's the air. Right now we're having a water trine. It's going from Pisces to Scorpio to Cancer. And so these zodiac signs, it turns out every 30 degrees are really there, so you can easily detect what multiple of 30 these are. So a trine, you'll see it like this, or a sextile, which is 60 degrees, or a trine, which is 120 degrees, effortless harmony. Oh yeah, they work together really well. Here's the Earth trine, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. The water trine we're in now, which is Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Now you notice that water and Earth also make these neat sextiles. Here's 60 degrees between water and Earth. And so if you know your zodiac signs, this becomes a very easy thing to recognize. Earth and water signs sextile each other. Water signs trine each other, okay? And the same thing happens with the other set of stuff, is that air and fire signs, they actually sextile each other too. So, sextiles and trines, oh boy, goody goody. Truth is, they're just like magnets. You turn them at certain angles, you get sextiles and trines. But if you turn the magnets at another angle, whoa, they won't go together. That's a square. Now here's Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. This is a grand cross. But this shows you how the squares show up in a squarish pattern. These are obstacles. These are like rocks in the road. These are difficulties that have to be overcome. They will slow you down. You'll get stuck here in these guys. Yes. So squares are difficult. Perhaps the most difficult, well, conjunctions can be difficult depending on which actors are sitting in each other's laps. That's two planets right together. But the most difficult is oppositions. Here's where they fight. Here's Aries. Aries fights with Libra, right? The opposite sign. Here's Taurus. Taurus fights with Scorpio. Yeah? Gemini fights with Sagittarius, the opposite signs. So all you got to do is learn your signs. Here's Cancer. Cancer fights with Capricorn. See, it's opposite sign. And these will really stop you cold. I'll save that for next week. So the main reason for learning zodiac signs is so you can look at a zodiac sign and know if it's a square or a trine or a opposition or what. That's Earth, air, fire, water, cardinal, mutable, fixed. Learning these will really help you.